Well, hello, peculiars. There's a lot of you online tonight. This is great. I'm seeing people from everywhere. We've got Leanne, who's from Reston. Kevin says he's coming in from a little slice of Stepford, deep in the heart of Texas. We have Sadie from Atlanta and Joanna Joanna, who's from Canada, Fox Sisters territory. And Kristen Meston, Amanda from Ogden. We've got, everyone is here. I'm so excited. And I know that Ryan is here too, Ryan and Sadie, because I saw pictures of their lovely fireplace that they are sitting next to. We're not next to my fireplace tonight, but you can see a distant vision of my tree lit up over there. By the way, my tree is decorated only with tiny, creepy creatures. So I have like bats and crows and a spider and things like that. And I can't wait for the in-laws to see that. It should be real fun. Anyway, we're very excited tonight. And I know Davey's excited. I never know which side of me he's going to... There you are.
There I am. I am excited. This book was, it's more than I think the cover even lets on, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of just a slice of history. There's things you don't think you're going to get into, like Harry Houdini and chiropractors and all sorts of things. Yeah, so...
It's so cool. And we've got several people have already pointed out, they're like, this book was so much better than other books I've read on the same subject, which is super cool. Sadie is also here, and Randy Trent as well. Sadie says she likes my jacket. Thank you. I wore it just for you guys. I have to say, there are a lot of books about this kind of stuff. I reviewed one of my very first reviews for the Wall Street Journal was about seances and things like that. And this is so much better. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true. I really like this book a lot. And we love the author, who's a repeat performer for us. So we should welcome the Lady I.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi, good to be back.
It's so good to see you, Elise. And boy, we have a lot of people excited about this book. Yeah, I have Kristen Meston's comment right here. She said, I adore this book. I've read lots of books about spiritualism, but the combo of Elise's authorial voice and the inclusion of so many interesting asides made it a must read. And I think that's kind of what Davey and I were talking about too. There's just a lot going on here.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, when I started researching it, I vaguely knew it was attached to like progressive movements, like abolition and suffrage and all of that. And the more I researched, the more I was like, wow, that's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's everything. And Kathleen is with us as well as Randy Trent. And I also have to post up, Leanne wrote, the glasses. So yes, the glasses. The glasses are pretty great. I was going to wear glasses, but I can't get them to not reflect the light weird. And so I just can't see.
It's a heck of a compliment, because usually this conversation is always about the background, the bookshelf, but the glasses are enough to hold their attention.
New,
you don't even need a bookshelf behind you.
Also, you've got a little pin. What is that? Davey, can you make her big? Make her big.
Every year in my world we have what's called Secret Satan, because it's a multi-religious and non-religious group, and it's like Secret Santa except cool.
Right.
This was from I think last year's Secret Satan was my friend Lucy, who has excellent taste.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Yeah. Kathleen Richardson, who is also our drinks maven, who created the amazing cocktail that I know you had some sourcing issues with, but I know you're working on a variation tonight, at least I believe. But Kathleen said, I listened to it on Audible, fantastic reader for fantastic content. I even enjoyed traffic jams because I got to listen more.
You're a far more patient person than I am. So,
I have to say, I've taken to listening to audiobooks to make me run on the treadmill because I hate the treadmill so much. Actually, I just hate exercise, but I have to exercise. So audiobooks get me through it. It's kind of good.
I tried podcasts, but I hate getting on the treadmill, but I needed like my jams because otherwise I just would fall off the treadmill. Like, oh God, that happened.
Davey knows I have fallen off my treadmill.
That has happened. Yeah.
Several times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A recurring theme on the show.
I switched to a mostly yoga workout, so they don't like it when you get to listen to the sound of your breath.
Oh, right. Yeah. Breathing is so overrated, Yeah. Actually, seeing is overrated. That's what Kevin says.
Especially for the medium who stopped breathing when she was connecting to the spirit. Look at that, we brought it back.
Connection.
And I love her so much. Which I guess is an unobjective thing to say, but I really enjoy her.
That's so cool. So what will happen is conversations will matriculate over here into the chat. And just a reminder to everybody, actually, Leanne just put this reminder up too. We have a lot of folks here. You'll want to be on the live version of the chat, not the greatest hits, because you'll miss things otherwise. There's a little bit of a lag between when you type and we see it too. So go ahead and your questions about the book, your question about mediums in general, your questions about ghosts and Christmas and bow ties, whatever else, put that in the chat and we star them and then we get to them. We do try to get to all of them through the course of the show, typically. So
yeah, I would love to be able to explain anything about like Mary Roach's book, but she's so good.
It's, you know what? That's the one. We haven't done that. We did not do that one for this show, which does seem like an omission, actually. But we have yours instead. So
she's been on. No, I'm always.
She's been on a ton, right?
Yeah, I actually, I'm working with a co-writer on my next book, and she's like, I just read the new Mary Roach book, and why do I even bother typing? She's so good, and I was like, I know, I read it too. And
do you know what though? I spoke to her. This is for all of you authors out there who are struggling. Being an author is a struggle anyway, but I talked to her this year and she was talking about how frustrating it has been to get people to buy and read nonfiction, that it's just, it's always been a problem, but not normally for Mary Roach. And she was just saying it made her want to throw her hands up in the air this time, trying to get people. And I think we're seeing that everywhere. And I want to suspect it's because people are going for escapism and also expense and money,
I feel like the stuff I see taking off, and this is just in my experience, it's like people are very into romantasy now and dark academia, whatever that is. And
I feel like that is so unfair. My life is dark academia. Someone should buy my books.
I found school a very dark time. I don't think that counts, but but I get it. But I love nonfiction and I write nonfiction, and that's what I read nonfiction, and I think there's something you can always use in that.
Sadie just said it's so nice to read to learn, and I think that's absolutely true. Yes. Kevin is agreeing with her too. But before we get started, we do have a couple of things. We've got questions popping up, which is awesome, and we have some announcements that we're going to get to. But Leanne has asked for you to tell us first. Let's see, about how to do the human blockhead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, funny thing, I don't have anything with me. with which to do any of my skills, but also
we should, and for any of you who are new listeners, the Lady I has many skills. Like you can swallow swords and stuff.
Eat fire, escape from a straitjacket, bed of nails, like usual stuff, and blockhead, which we're talking about. And on book tour, the TSA took my favorite hammer, and so I'm mad about that. So I need to get a new hammer, but mine was like dainty and floral. It was very ladylike.
They took your favorite hammer?
Yeah, they're like, it's a weapon. You can't have this. And it was buried so deep in my suitcase. I'm like, how am I going to get that on? I even get to it. Like,
it's sad.
Yeah.
Well,
I tried to explain to the guy, like, it's a theatrical prop. And he's like, no. Yeah, thanks.
Do you think that they would, what if you had disguised it as like a pretend Thor's hammer? Would that have helped? Do you think? Like,
maybe
it's a plastic marble thing.
So I actually have to treat myself to a new hammer.
Not an entirely bad thing.
Yeah. So I don't even know what's on the market these days. Maybe they're like even better. But the blockhead, basically, I think the legend is that it gets its name from Robert Ripley of Ripley's Believe It or Not, who said you'd have to be a real blockhead to do that. And the originator, although that's like inside show, we always say print the legend, was a gentleman named Melvin Burkhart, who at least made it sort of famous. And it's the ability to hammer nails into your nose. And I think as an industry, everybody does it. It's the first skill that you learn, I think, for most people. You get a lot of sort of bang for your buck. And then the trick is making it your own. And I do it with silverware because, like, it's ladylike.
Of course. Sure. Right.
Where do you put the fork and the spoon?
I have a deviated septum. This all makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's a labyrinth in here.
One side, that's enough. I have my nose bobbed when I was younger, so I can do both sides. But that's not expected.
I found some images. I couldn't find anything on your website or your Instagram of your images. If people's stomachs can handle it, I can bring up the images.
All right, fair warning here.
Right.
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's just just to start off the evening. This is our last show of 2025. Let's see it.
Yeah. Share screen. Share. So here's some examples of it. You tell us if you think they're. Oh, is it not working?
It's not working.
That's someone doing it in the dark. Very dangerous.
In a really dark room.
Oh,
we'll come back to it later. It's okay. It's okay. We'll bring it back later.
Anyway, so it's the ability to hammer nose into your head, and
there we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Don't know who that is.
Oh, more stuff in noses, various noses.
But you get, you get the gist of what she's talking about.
Idea. Yeah. You have a hole in your face. You can use it for things.
Yeah. So, right over your head. Sorry for everyone for seeing up my nose.
Well, now we know. That's where it goes. Yeah. So I thought you were just demonstrating. I just wanted to throw it. I had put it up on the screen earlier, but didn't say it out loud for those of you who are listening into the podcast instead. By the way, thank you for listening into the podcast. Our podcast is growing. We have lots of extra stuff on the podcast, but I do try to make sure I sound things out for those who can't see. Bonnie said nonfiction reminds us of the surprising rhymes in history. And doesn't it just? I wrote a book about the rise of fascism, and it kind of rhymes. It rhymes. So yeah, nonfiction is good. Yeah, it really is. I do want, now that I have a good collection of, did we all use that for home COVID testing?
That was the thing. We were afraid that was going to ruin the industry, but apparently our collective memory is kind of short on that. So.
Oh, that's great. So we have some great questions lined up now. And now that we have a good collection of them, let's hop into our announcements before I forget to do them, which frequently happens on this show. This is our last show of 2025. And hopefully not our last show ever, but our last show of 2025.
Definitely not.
And, I know some folks who are here are new. And in fact, we had some new people pop in as VIP members who were not members before. And of course, all of our shows are freely available now on YouTube. And so I know some of you are brand new. And if you have never actually hopped into the live comment stream before, go ahead and do. We'll love it. We'll love it. We will. and welcome. So you can find us in all sorts of places on social media, almost all of them at this point. Which is wild, but we actually just started on a new one now too. So in addition to our Goodreads, there's a new one starting called Hardcover something. I forgot the name of it. Jennifer Pierce runs our Goodreads, but we have Stephen Reed who is in Finland, has started us one over there, which is like a Goodreads alternative. And so we're in even more places than you see up on the screen. You can follow us. You can also find me in various places, and I will almost always, actually, I will just always respond. It's almost a sort of autistic trait that I don't know how not to. So our newsletter is one of the ways, probably the best way that we get information to you. So if you're not subscribed, if you're listening and you're not subscribed, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, join the newsletter. You can find that on our website, which is peculiarbookclub.com. Super easy. And it is the way we send out the show links. And I always start the newsletter with like just a weird bit of information. I told you guys a real live ghost story in the second to last one. So join, you'll learn some stuff, weird things, usually.
Cool.
Oops, back. There we go. PayHip. So we no longer have Patreon. If you were a Patreon supporter, you aren't anymore. We've closed down our Patreon and it's gone. And so you can't join there. PayHip. The reason we did that, by the way, was not because I have a beef or anything. It's just that between Patreon and the new rules with Apple, we were losing almost 40% of what you gave us. And so we feel like Apple doesn't really need more money. So we joined PayHip. It's a much better platform. It's very, very clear and easy to use. And all of the information is there. You can get to it again from our website. But if you are a VIP member, which you can join for as little as $5 a month, which is like a coffee or something, right? Oh, good. Sadie says it was really easy to use. Fabulous. The cool thing about it is you get 4 additional shows. So all the stuff that we do here, a lot of times it's us talking and there's chat happening over in the comments. But we're going to be doing shows which is just like all of us chatting and doing and having cool stuff to talk about. We're doing a coffee house night where you can come in and out of the green room and like share work that you like, even your own if you want. You know, we'll like snap fingers and stuff. There's going to be a live mystery night, and our authors, including Mary Roach, has suggested they might like to be interviewed as potential suspects. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and you really don't want to miss out. Also, Davey and I would like to like pay the bills and stuff. So please join. It would be awesome to stay in the black. Yay. This is our next season. It is going to be so cool. We have so many good books that are coming up. Rise of the Zombie Bugs is the very first one. And the other thing is, if you join at one of the higher tiers, we've made cards, like tarot cards, but with the covers of all the books and weird facts on the back about the books or about the author, sometimes both. So so many good things coming. There you can see
I know it's a little hard to see, but there's the in order.
All of them.
Everything coming up.
Tis good stuff. And the book cocktail. And if you can, I don't know if you can see there's like sparkles and bubbles, and it's so champagne-y without being actual champagne. It's gin and Saint-Germain and Midori, and there's lime juice. It's so interesting, and I wish you could see it. Kat makes these amazing cocktails, and then she does the fabulous photography, which I was never actually very good at. So the name that won was the Merry Medium Medicine.
It was a pretty runaway winner there.
It was. Yeah. We did have some other. One was like it's a wrap, like wrap. But yeah, this was the winner. Clear standout. How many of you have made it? Like if you're drinking it, please tell me. I had to go off alcohol for rosacea reasons, and I have the SADs. So please tell me how good the cocktail is.
I like all the extra ingredients. A beverage thickener, a cocktail sparkles.
Yeah.
Fun. So speaking of the bonus things you get, obviously on the podcast side of things, you get some extra content from us, including the Peculiar Movie Club, which our November movie, we just did it at the beginning of December. I just want to make sure everyone saw that it was out and live. So for Holy Food in November, we did a cooking movie. We did Julie and Julia. And really, I just want to say I'm very proud because Darren, who co-hosts this with me, his wife was sitting down next to him for part of it, and I made her laugh towards the very end, which I felt was like that was a win right there. Like someone hardly paying attention, and I got a laugh out of her. So if you catch her laugh at the very end, I'm very proud of that.
I love it.
It's a very fun conversation about a movie that's, not necessarily my genre, but I do love cooking. So that was good. So, Eilis, for your book, now Darren suggested we could combine Christmas and Ghosts and do a Christmas Carol, but I was like, no, we need something that really hits the themes and it has the medium in it. And so there was one obvious choice. Okay. 1990s Ghost.
Oh, yes.
Really felt like the obvious choice.
I would have gone with that Nicole Kidman movie, The Others.
Oh, yeah. Is there a medium in
it? It has postmortem photography and ghosts and mediums. It's got the whole schmear.
Really? They don't do a good job advertising that movie because they never show any of that cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that movie.
For personal reasons, I've seen that, and I haven't seen this yet, and I feel like this is
You've
one of
never
those
seen Ghost?
I feel like it's one of those movies that's missing. I've done pottery on the wheel, and I've never seen Ghost, so I really got to add this to my collection. So that's what we're doing our December movie.
Oh my god! All right, that's great.
If you really want
to, someday we got to do it because all of my degrees are actually in film. They're like not at all even in history or anything like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
So there we go. That's our December movie coming out sometime vaguely in December.
Sadie mentions Flatliners. That was a good one.
Flatliners is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I love that movie.
That is good.
Yeah.
Sadie was also mentioning that Kat, while Eilis has the good glasses, Kat has good glassware because she does the drinks and stuff, and you have to admit she's
a nice coupe.
Mm-hmm. It's very nice. Very nice. And Bonnie said that she's been putting the books on her calendar as her distraction for the day.
I like Kristen's comment.
What does it say?
I just want to show off my...
Oh, once Davey watches Ghost, he will be an honorary Gen X girl. Oh, yeah. Can you embiggen her? The Spirit Rooms of Lily Dale.
Yeah. And it'll make sense when you read the book. And I didn't have the ingredients for the specialty cocktail, so I made spice cider with and then I poured a sidecar into it, so it's with brandy. So I highly recommend it. It is delightful.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to dive into some questions because I have 7 of them starred, and you guys can keep adding them. One of the things is so Joanna Rickerhall, this is more of just a factoid, but she's in Canada, and she says one of our prime ministers back in the day, William Lyon Mackenzie King, was a big proponent of seances, and of course that's the Fox sisters and stuff. That's all kind of. No, they weren't in Canada, were they? They were in.
They were in north. Well, pretty close. They were up by up in northern New York State.
Northern New York State. That's right, because
they call Western New York.
And doesn't Lily Dale have their cottage?
It did. It burned down.
Oh,
and it was hit by lightning.
Of course it was.
What you will. They saved the Bible. The foundation is in another park in another town up in Hydesville, New York.
I love this.
So yeah. So they did for a long time, but then act of God, and it's something.
Or something.
Or something.
Amanda Johnson, who is in Ogden, Utah, she said, I'm about halfway through the book and not at all surprised that Comstock makes an appearance.
Anthony Comstock, and I'm kind of surprised he's not a bigger historical figure. Maybe he'll pop up on the Gilded Age or something like that. But he is really worth looking into because, like, when we talk about the Victorian age and we think of it as very prudy and formal, Anthony Comstock is such a profoundly weird American, an important American a figure. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, as they are chipping away at your bodily autonomy in the last few years, the Comstock laws were revisited. And I didn't even know that the Comstock laws still existed. I thought they'd been overturned with Griswold v. Connecticut, which allows you to have birth control. So I was surprised that I'm like, how is that still on the book? Because he was there were cartoons of him at the time, where he was dressing like, yes, you should definitely put sweaters on your dog because I love it. But like the joke was that like Victorian thought he was what I call an anti-sex sex pest. He was insane. Like, no, you can't flash your ankles. The Statue of Liberty is too scantily dressed. Like, he was crazy.
Yeah.
And also, for illustrative, was also, there may be a Fox sisters from Canada, but they were born in, the ones I'm talking about are from the Rochester area. Just to add.
Oh, okay. So we've got double. I hope there's more than one Fox sisters
There
group.
could
That
be,
sounds like fun.
but the American Fox sisters, Maggie, Kate, and Leah, were from Western New York.
Okay. Were their parents originally from Canada, or
possibly they actually may have been born there and moved down? Actually, I take that back.
Okay, so maybe they were born there and then they.
Talking about farm family from Western New York.
Okay, that's cool. Sorry, we totally. For those of you who are listening, she didn't just like hiccup into a new topic. I posted something up there.
But I'm basically, I am basically have golden retriever energy, which is I am very easily distracted. But no, the Anthony Comstock is nuts, and he is worth knowing about, and I think a sort of weirdly influential American figure for how insane he was.
Well,
he kept all the dirty he kept the like dirty books that he was the postmaster general, and he would intervene,
right? Like accidentally end up with all the dirty books. How typical.
Yeah, that's for educational purposes.
Right.
I'm trying to find some. I don't think they're classic Comstock comics. I think these are recent ones. He would be, if he were alive today, he would be a weekly pundit on Fox News.
Oh, definitely.
Kevin Tone says he was the original Holy Mike Johnson.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I'm going to double check that. You know what? Now that you're saying this, now that we just had this conversation about whether the Fox sisters were born in Ontario or not, I actually think I think that someone in the family was. I'm going to have to look this up because that was in the other book. Now that I think about
it, they were very young. They were mostly around Upper New York, which is which again, like pretty close. Yeah. He's the McCarthy of prudery. Oh, Amanda, that's great. That's a good one.
McCarthy of prudery. You guys, all right. I want more of these. Okay. Original Mike Johnson, McCarthy of prudery. Let's get some more of those. That's worth having.
Look up Thomas Nash. I think they were Thomas Nash cartoons. I could be wrong on that. But they were like, there are pictures of him like taking a shower in a suit with an actual.
There are. So when I worked at the museum, the Medical History Museum in Cleveland, we had the Contraception Museum, which was originally owned by Percy Sky, who was actually in Canada. Just to throw that additional connection in there. And we had copies of the old cartoons, and there is one with him showering fully clothed, and there's some other ones too. And there's one where he's like like people are married and they're getting ready to, consummate the marriage, and he's like there presiding over it and everything. It's very super creepy.
Yeah. This is not to say that I'm against people putting clothes on dogs, because it's
right. That part we will allow. Kevin's question is: mediums in other literature are treated as charlatans. Was that borne out in your research, or did you find something else? Like, were they treated as charlatans? Were they not?
That's a very complicated question, and thank you for it. I made it not my job to determine, people believe different things about contacting the spirit in the afterlife and different religious practices. And I wanted to give everyone their grace. I am not Harry Houdini, even though I can escape from straitjacket and I'm Jewish.
That's true.
Yeah. But I wanted to give everyone their grace. And in my capacity of writing this book, I wasn't there as either a debunker or someone who was there to prove it. I was viewing it through my lens as a historian. And the fact is that this movement happened. And that is indisputable, and that it was enormous, and it was enormously powerful. So it is not mine to say yes or no. That's not what I'm looking at. And And people talked to me. People were very kind enough, like current working mediums were kind enough to talk to me and give me their time because they knew I wouldn't jump up in the middle of the seance and scream, "You are a fraud."
Right.
So,
which is so unhelpful.
The other thing I want to note, I want to
Irritate
add
that.
to that is that I talk about this a lot. I've done this lecture a number of times in promoting the book about Houdini and his specifically his relationship with the medium Marjorie, whose real name was Mina Crandon. That even Houdini wanted it to be so, and it wasn't so, and he was salty about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot to be said about it. And I think, we talk about in my talk, I talk about how we know that history is written by the victors.
Right.
And in Houdini's case, history is written by those with the longest media reach. Mm-hmm. And you can ask any kid, like, who's Houdini? And they'll say magician. But they don't know who Mina Crandon is.
Right.
And she's a huge medium. And I'm not forgiving her. But the other thing is, part of our collective memory of this movement is that it was entirely fraudulent and insincere. It was all about graft.
Right.
I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that they were really whether they were gifted or not. What I'm saying is you have to look at it as a history, that it was important at the time and very powerful.
And there was quite a divide at the time. I mean, there were people at the time who treated them as charlatans, and there were people at the time who treated them as actually as this is a potentially scientific thing at the time. Yeah.
And so it's easy to look back now and say like, that is foolish. Like knowing what we know now. Yeah. Okay. A lot of it was like, I always give the example, the physicist Röntgen, who invented the X-ray tube.
Right.
When he first looked at what he developed, he thought he had discovered ectoplasm.
Oh, Crookes tube. Crookes.
No, Röntgen.
Oh, it was Röntgen too.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
To him because the Crookes tube led to the X-ray.
Right.
He's building on the work of Sir Crookes, and Sir Crookes was a very
he was all into mediums. Yeah, he was like super. I went to the Cragside house. Yeah, and there's a whole room full of because he was also somebody who
was a scientist.
He was a scientist. Yeah, a whole room dedicated to that. I just put up a comment about Amanda Johnson saying, if you're interested in Houdini's crusade against mediums, Brad Ricka's Lincoln Ghost is great. Brad Rick is a friend of mine and lives down the road from me. He's also here in Cleveland, and we went to school together. So it's so funny when these things come back around. It is a good book.
Yeah, but I think what I was trying to do in the book is not prove anyone right or wrong, but look at it as a historical phenomenon.
Right.
That this movement was a big thing and we're still feeling it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we've all had varied experiences. I've had some pretty strange experiences happen in my life that I can't explain. I wrote about one of them for the newsletter where, even at the time I sort of rationalized it away, but then in retrospect you go, actually that was pretty freaking weird.
And I mean, in writing this, I had I met with a bunch of people and I met with different psychics, or mediums. I'm sorry. That's wrong on my part. I use the word psychic and really what I mean is medium because they're different. They're similar, but different.
Actually, that was one of the questions that popped up. Medium versus psychic. What's the true relationship and crossover? If that's from Kathleen.
Mediums speak with the dead. Psychics can see the future, and there are psychic mediums and there is some crossover, but when you're talking about spiritualism, you're generally speaking about mediumship and that relationship with the spirit, the soul,
spirit world, right? The
Summerland, what they
fascinating. Summerland. Oh, that's nice. Though I'm not a big fan of summer. I'd be more like, can we have a lot more fall? I want to go to the autumn land.
Fall land, like an autumn land, where it was just. It's like sweater weather and
good cups of tea, leaves. We have arrived at the midpoint at the show, believe it or not. I know it doesn't seem that way, but as a result, it is time for a little bit of music. And so our musical interlude, which comes from, I believe, is it Charming Disaster today, Davey? It is.
Yes.
So, so please join us in a brief musical interlude for our December show.
Oh, hello, Peculiars.
It's us, Charming Disaster.
And we, like you, are here to speak to the dead. Can you feel this from a distance? What I'm doing with my pins? Pull them from between my lips, and one by one I stick them in. Not a cushion, not a pillow, but a clever mannequin. If I covered it with kisses, would you feel them on your skin?
I can feel you out there, doing it yet again. Up to your old tricks, dear, reaching out through thin air. Uncontrolled twitches, sharp pains in my back, butterfly kisses, hot breath on my neck.
Can you feel this from a distance? What I'm doing with my pins?
Yet
Pull
again,
them from
to
between
your
my
old
lips,
tricks,
and one by one I
reaching
stick them
out
in.
through thin
Not
air.
a cushion,
Controlled
not a pillow,
twitches,
but a clever
sharp pains
mannequin.
in my
If I
back,
covered
butterfly
it with kisses, would
hot
you
breath
feel them
on
on your
my
skin? It's not the same as the real thing. Might like this better instead. Ooh, I know you're thinking of me when I'm thinking that we are connected. We are connected. On the evening of the séance where we met that only time, all the candles were extinguished when you put your hand in mine. The table started rocking and you caught my evil eye. We promised when we parted we would never say goodbye. I knew from your
Little
demeanor
totem,
that you were
fetish
a kindred
doll,
soul.
effigy,
Your smile was
a
so familiar,
token,
and I couldn't
something
let
that
you go.
comes from
It's
me.
a sympathetic magic pulls us
Are we
together
doomed?
close.
Are we
It's
cursed?
a
Sympathetic magic, it
the
could
thing
always
I love
be
the
worse.
most. It's not the same as the real thing. Might like this better instead. Ooh, I know you're thinking of me when I'm thinking that we are connected. It's not the same as the real thing. Might like this better instead. Ooh, I know you're thinking of me when I'm thinking that we are connected. We are connected. You never
To be your
would
plaything,
but a toy
not a
take
beast
a toll.
anymore.
I sewed it
on
with
a
a
kite
needle
string
and a piece
that
of
you
your
toss
soul.
to the floor.
Not just any
Careful what you wish
simulacrum,
for.
such a sweet
It comes
remote
back
control. I
sevenfold.
could shoot
Might fall
you
into
with
a
a
well,
pistol,
dear,
and
and then they'd never find the hole. It's not the same as a real thing. You might like this better instead. Ooh, I know you're thinking of me when I'm thinking that we are connected. We are connected. We are connected.
I love that. I did not know that Jeff had that falsetto in him. I'm going to poke him in the ribs next time I see him and see if I can get it to happen again. uh, so, as always, Charming Disaster is the light of the show. It's just so lovely to have them sing for us. And yes, they are going to be with us again next season. They've already picked the shows and books they're going to be doing music for. And so I'm very excited that they'll be joining us once more. I noticed that Sadie said she went to college right by Casadega, and was able to be part of a seance that didn't feel scammy. It's so much a spiritualist community rather than a bunch of shady opportunists. And I'm just curious. I know you went to a whole bunch of them. Has anyone else been to any? Like, I've never been to a seance. I know it's weird. I should have been really by now. I know you've been to them. You can start us off, but I don't know if anyone else is. You guys can jump in if you have been.
Yeah, and I live in Manhattan, so of course, like, it's New York. We got a little bit of everything. And I found that our seance, there is I can't remember whether it's weekly or monthly seance, and it wasn't that far from where I was living. And it's surprisingly brightly lit. You know, you have this Hollywood idea of what it's going to look like. The candles there were electric those little LED candles. But it's in a kind of rough little room next to a theosophy bookstore, and they borrow the space, and it kind of reminded me of a 12-step meeting in the space that was in. And
nice.
It was interesting. It was really interesting. And I went to spiritualism. Spiritualism, I think a good way to describe it is also, it's sort of a plug-in to Protestant religions. And so it is and was not exactly like mega churches, although there is some overlap there. But it was done both in a church-like setting.
Okay.
And
well, you've got candle. I kind of, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and in parlors, like, it was there are spiritualist churches.
True.
And so, you know, is religion scammy? I mean, that's an argument for another day, but it comes in this, it came and it comes in that format. I went to Sunday services when I was up in Lilydale, which is something I would not ordinarily do. And it was interesting to me. And so it can come in a very church-like setting, in addition to the parlor, sitting around a table. Like, I always bring up the Haunted Mansion. Like, the imagery in the Haunted Mansion is very spiritualism based. That whole, like, Madame Leota, table tipping, sitting around a room, that is spiritualism up and down.
Well, and Joanna was mentioning, like, how it used emergent technology of the time too. So photography, spirit photography. And in fact, I believe I saw, Kristen said she had aura photography done, and supposedly had multiple ghosts with her. And Bonnie says, my mom was involved with a spiritualist church and found a lot of community and value in the church part of it. Looks like Amanda said she went to a card reader. Oh, I do my own tarot readings. Goodness.
Yeah,
I went to a card reader when I was much younger. I remember liking to hear what she said, but it didn't have, like, lasting effects.
Yeah, technically tarot cards are not, like, they don't do tarot cards, I think, and they'll sell you tarot cards, but they don't use tarot
Right.
cards if you have a spiritualist reading in Lilydale.
Mhm.
So tarot cards are not necessarily an overlap, but not a practice.
So she said these were playing cards. My
Oh.
bad. I was assuming they were tarot
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, like I get my tarot card every day, and I think it's kind of gestalt, and you're always looking for that, like, you can do it, kid. Like, I have a group where I send friends kitten memes every day. So,
Well,
but I think
I actually have. So if you've not, I don't know other writers out there if you've ever used the hang on a second. Oblique strategies. It's not tarot cards, but they are basically like if you're stuck on something in your novel, you pick a card and you're like, oh gosh, I'm having so much trouble with this problem. You pick a card and the card says, the most important thing is the thing most easily forgotten, which makes no sense, except that it will to you for the book that you'll be like, wait, that's like, so, yeah, which is not the same thing as spiritualism, obviously, but
I will add that things like spiritualism, like if you think about America across the whole of its history from the colonies on, spiritualism made the occult pop culture. So it kind of removed a lot of like either shame or the hiddenness of it. So I think there is that, and that's a huge thing. So not necessarily, not everything that we think of as occult, like astrology and witchcraft and stuff, is spiritualism related. But on the other hand, spiritualism kind of cracked open
all the other
open practice of these things.
Well, so I was actually going to ask about this myself, but I noticed Kristen has a question about it, so I'll throw this up here. The spiritualism versus chiropractic connection. So I see a chiropractor, like I was just at one earlier today. And so this is just not something I had heard about before. Same, Kristen saying much the same thing. First of all, can we talk about that? And then also, what other things surprised you while you were working on the book?
The chiropractic thing I knew vaguely, but like the more I looked into it, and I come from a family of doctors, so who are the natural enemy in the wild of the chiropractor. It's your body with it as you will. I have some issues with chiropractic. I admittedly have a lot of issues with chiropractic, and I think some of it is dangerous. That said, the practice itself emerged from a guy named D.D. Palmer, who was a spiritualist.
Yep.
And said he was in his dreams in communication with the doctors, like, if you manipulate people's spines, you can hear everything. And
it's like the Akashic records kind of thing.
Yeah, and exactly. And if you're and D.D. Palmer also was kind of a nutter, if I'm being honest. And he did not believe in germ theory. Like, they showed him evidence and he's like, no such thing. And so
granted, that was an awful lot of people, sadly.
Yeah. But you are talking about an era that was not cutting edge technology, but it was new, and sterile field surgery was coming into its own. So that practice has always had a spiritualist connection and an alternative medicine connection, and a not necessarily so science-based connection, which is what I take issue with.
But isn't it also kind of there's a whole a spiritualist healers kind of thing.
Yes.
Using spirits. That's what the Akashic records is kind of about.
Yeah, and one of the big practices of spiritualism and the spiritualist movement, they had built on the theories of a doctor named Franz Metzger, who was German but practicing in Paris for a while, and mesmerism. And it was just it's sort of like chi, that you could move your hands over someone's body, and that he was, in his mind, he was building off the work of Newtonian physics and fluid motion. And he's like, if I could just rebalance the liquids here, everyone, you're going to feel better. And it is actually a forerunner to hypnosis.
Right.
And so mesmerism was one of the things that sort of influenced spiritualist practice. And so there were a number of spiritualists who practice healing. And also we're talking about the Victorian era. This made great sense because your local doctor could just be a guy. There was no national medical board. Your local doctor could just be like, yeah, I'm a doctor. I got a sign. It says doctor. What more could you possibly want? And I own all these shiny saws. Doctors and hospitals were really the court of last resort. I mean, it was horrendous. I highly recommend Lindsay Fitzharris's book, The Butchering Art, on the subject. So, nowadays, I mean, I'm kind of like, please go see your doctor, please get vaccinated. All of these things stand to good reason, but like within the context of the Victorian era, you pick the team. Yeah. Because it was just like you could just as you could actually often get healed by not doing anything and killed by the doctor. So just whatever you want to gamble on. Medicine is a different practice these days, and which is not to say the American way of health is delightful.
Well, right. Well, but I mean, and I think too, which is in an interesting way, cognitive behavioral therapy has remade use of hypnosis. So you've got this kind of funny way in which these things roll back around. Kristen said they had a weird confluence around mesmerism this week because it came up in her book and your book, in her husband's book about the French Revolution, and then it was on TV in one of Vincent Price's Poe movies. So it's like mesmerism, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and it's an interesting. Sort of the baseline for spiritualist practice comes from all over. It's in a way very American because it's kind of a mutt. It comes from Swedenborgianism, which is who is a theologist from Sweden, and it comes from mesmerism, and then there are other practices that get folded into it. And it's sort of a weird mixture of like, let's see what works.
Hey, to be perfectly honest with you, I am 48 and I am deeply invested in the woo post menopause. I'm sort of like, what do you got? I'll take it. Yeah. Do I need to kill a chicken at midnight? Won't be one of my chickens, obviously, but so what did you, because I don't want to lose track of the second part of that question, was what surprised you? What did you come across that you were like, whoa, I did not see that coming?
Honestly, it was just how huge and like important a movement it was. Because I think we tend to like dismiss it as woo and like Etsy witches, like ha ha ha. But it really was a part of the national conversation. It was politically powerful. Science was involved. Women
empowered women, gave women voices.
I was amazed. Like, she's a real mixed bag of a person. Like, she is hardly a perfect person. But I found the story of Victoria Woodhull to be fascinating. I love Victoria Woodhull. Like,
she is very interesting.
She's the first woman to ever run for president. You got to remember that 50 years before she had the vote. She announced that Frederick Douglass was her running mate or vice president, which was news to him, and he never said anything about it.
He was just like, okay.
Yeah, and I don't think she really would have particularly cared for him either. I mean, there was like so much crazy stuff, but I think she was an interesting character. There's so much in there, like the Ouija board. Like, I am Gen X, so we view Ouija board is clearly like it's a portal to hell, like if you use it right, and it's a horror thing, and it really wasn't any more demonic than Scrabble. It really was invented as a way of making.
You want demonic? Play Words with Friends.
I want to see that on the box. No more demonic than Scrabble.
And my favorite thing I discovered was like, not only there are other versions. There are branded versions. Like there was one for the Misfits and there was one for the Damned, which is one of my favorite bands. But there's also Ouija for girls. And
Oh, God.
it's pink and purple, and I just was like awesome. Like I don't know if the only spirits that come through are female or whether, like they didn't explain that to me, but I was just like, oh, we can unnecessarily gender anything in this.
We all Ouija'd in college or as teenagers, right? We've all.
Oh, I've Ouija'd.
yeah.
Who hasn't Ouija'd?
Now, I didn't have my hands on it. I was the note taker, so I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
I don't know who was influencing the spirits that day. You know, which friend was influencing the spirits more?
I have
I'll never know.
I have a Ouija board mat, and I read it based on where the cat sits. So because it's his favorite place to sit. So I'm just like the butthole is on the L. The butthole is basically that's what we choose.
Yeah.
Well, that's
of
the
course.
planchette.
Yeah.
Cat butthole. So that's.
It's as good a way as any, as far as
I like it. Hands off. Yeah.
So he's got something to say.
Yeah.
And then you like, why not?
I'm dying to know. I'm very curious because we're getting to the point in the show where Davey is going to do the quiz, and I'm deeply curious, Davey.
You are not ready for the quiz.
I am not
this month. You are not ready. I did. Do you remember what we quizzed you on last time, Elise?
Don't. So if you give me those questions again, I will probably.
No. So last time it was famous lipstick articles in like famous magazines or something like that. So that was the quiz last time. There were a couple of choices when you started to go into the history of the haunted castle at Disney. What was it? The haunted
Mansion. That's the
haunted mansion. Right.
Haunted Mansion,
I was like, ooh, I could do the whole history of Disney attractions, but no, there was something in the beginning of the book.
One of my favorite classes in college, actually, my professor is an expert on Disney. So
there you go.
Of course,
weird
there's a
amount.
professor for
I
everything.
don't even like it, and I know a weird amount about Disney.
So you start the book by honoring your father, and it's kind of a through line through the book. And I thought we would do a quiz to honor him as well, because you talked about his glorious Jewish mustache, and it being a combination between Albert Einstein and Groucho Marx, right? So I had to look up the top 10 Jewish mustaches of all time, and I will tell you right now that Groucho Marx was number 1 and Albert Einstein was number 2. So we're not doing the quiz about their mustaches, but these are 3 other mustaches from the list, and it's a little bit different. Normally we do multiple choice. This is going to be kind of like the clues will be more. There's 3 clues, and if you need more clues, I'll keep going.
Okay.
I
Oh
can't
my
tell if
goodness.
This might be
Davey
really
mixing it
easy.
up for the last quiz of the year.
This
I
might
know,
be
and I'm
really
like, do I
easy
let him down if I'm wrong? Oh my god!
or really hard. But the peculiars
no.
will help you out. I feel like the collective hive mind of the peculiars will probably solve it off the first clue.
Okay.
But so here we go. So the quiz is called in honor of Ned Flanders, who's not Jewish, but a famous mustachio himself. The quiz is called Nose Neighbor, the Soup Strainer, the Cookie Duster. All nicknames he gave his mustache throughout The Simpsons. So this legendary mustache wearer was born on February 10th, 1950 in Modesta, California. And when he was 2 years old, his family moved to Honolulu, Hawaii, where he swam at Waikiki Beach every day. And if you don't have a guess yet, you can ask for the next clue. For the audio only listeners, the picture is just of the person's mustache so far. So I will reveal the person on the final one.
Oh, I'm gonna need another clue.
Okay. The next clue. While at Indiana, he won 8 individual NCAA titles. In 1971, he won the James E. Sullivan Award as the top amateur athlete in the United States.
This is a sports ball question, but
This is a sports ball question. Yeah.
Okay. We've got some names popping up in the chat.
There was a swimmer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diver.
The final one at the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, he won 7 gold medals and set a new world record in 7 events. Who is this mustache?
And the
Mark
question
Spitz.
Mark Spitz. The answer is yes, Mark Spitz.
Okay, so
Famous
when you
Olympian
said
Mark
he was
Spitz.
born on February 10th, 1950, because this is a stupid mustache quiz, he just appeared in my mind as a baby with a mustache swimming off the coast of Hawaii.
Now I'm sad we don't have that graphic.
We're blessed with facial hair, but not that early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. The next, they're all different worlds. I'm telling you, they're from all different worlds.
Okay.
The next one is not a sports one.
Got it.
This mustache man, as a child, was influenced by books and movies, particularly those with Errol Flynn playing heroic roles.
I'm gonna guess Stan Lee.
All right. I'm going to run through the clues really quick if anyone's out there still guessing. He got his start in publishing at Timely with early duties, including filling inkwells, fetching lunches, proofreading, and erasing pencil lines. And then the final clue, he would go on to become Marvel Comics' primary creative leader for 2 decades, co-creating iconic characters such as Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men. Who is this mustache?
Excelsior.
It is Stan Lee.
That's what it be. I'll take my lunch money. That's fine.
Yeah.
By the way, Kristen Meston said that was not a good Mark Spitz poster.
You wanted him shirtless, didn't you? I know the one you want.
I remember with the medals and hairy chest.
I have to look for the highest, the best resolution one available. Yeah.
Mustache.
The final mustache.
Okay.
This historically famous mustache briefly attended Odessa University, studying engineering and mathematics. However, bored with his studies, he increasingly focused on political philosophy and underground revolutionary activity.
Oh my God.
The Lenin?
Not Lenin. Let's keep going. He joined the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party in 1898, being arrested and exiled to Serbia for his activities.
Not Stalin.
No, you're close.
And it's not Marx.
He worked closely with Vladimir Lenin and was a key figure in the 1905 Revolution, October Revolution of 1917, Russian Civil War, and the establishment of the Soviet Union, from which he was exiled in 1929 before his assassination in 1940. Who is this mustache?
Stanley. Oh wait, no, we did that one.
Yeah.
So Kevin's got us here. He's saying it's Trotsky.
Kevin is digging the mustache quiz.
He is, and Sadie's like, Sadie. I love that Sadie actually. She reduces it to Trots. Which I think
my
is
grandfather
awesome.
was also left Odessa for the same reason, because he was in the collective.
In the collective.
The answer is yes, Leon Trotsky, which that
he
is
should
quite
be famous for
legendary
his
mustache.
hair
Yeah.
and forehead. Frankly,
He's got the whole
his eyes are too small.
Martin thing going.
Yeah.
He needs bigger eyes for that forehead, like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just
The
saying,
glasses
like if
aren't
I were
doing him any
drawing a
favors
picture of
either.
him.
They're annexing me. He's created a sort of Soviet bloc around his hairline.
Oh, my
There we
goodness.
go. I thought we'd mix it up a little bit for the final
That is
one,
great. That
in honor of your
okay.
dad.
This is you guys. I don't know if you've noticed. This is an evolution of the Davy quiz. Like this is a multiple hint quiz. Am I seeing the future? Are we having more of these, Davy?
Multiple choice is always our go-to because we don't want to put too much pressure on the authors. But every now and then we've done the Family Feud style quiz.
That's true.
We did.
And Kevin totally won this quiz.
Yeah.
He was
Kevin
all
did
over
win,
these
yeah.
mustaches.
He gets the prize. And then we did a karaoke style finish the line quiz.
Oh my God,
You
that's right. I
remember
did.
with,
Yeah.
Yeah, no one
James
was
Brown
like,
lyrics. Yeah, that was fun. So maybe I might have to bring the karaoke quiz back next
Well,
season.
speaking of karaoke, so this is the last show of 2025, and we are having a 7th season. We're still collecting memberships, so hopefully that'll keep happening. So that I like to get my panic in early about these things, but so I've been kind of freaking out. It's fine. But I will say that as we were trying to come up with the extra events, because we all want to chat and it's like there's never enough time, the shows are always too short, and we never get through. We thought, okay, we're gonna do 4 extra events for VIPs. What should we have them on? We already knew we were going to do the murder mystery. Well, actually, Davey didn't know this. Stephanie, who is my PA, and I knew we were going to do the murder mystery. And then we launched it on Davey. But then I thought, we'll have to do a coffee house, because some of our listeners, many of our members are also writers themselves. And I thought, well, that would be really fun. I thought, we've got to do a mystery science theater type thing where we co-watch and Davey gets to be funny and make. We've got to build you small robots.
We've got to figure out the movie for that.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, yeah. We're going to do votes for that too. And it's going to be super cool. But we did temporarily think we might try to do a karaoke. We could not make it work, you guys, but it would have been really hilarious to do like live VIP karaoke. If we ever sort it out, we will definitely do it, but we couldn't.
God rest it, when we had the Morbid Anatomy Museum, there was Morbid Anatomy karaoke one night, and it was basically like we drink too much whiskey in a basement. And
Yeah, well, that's what happens at my house for karaoke, because my karaoke bar is in the basement and is also the whiskey bar. So, Kristen says, at least this was such a wonderful book. Thank you for sharing all that knowledge, but also your grief. May your dad's memory be a blessing. And Sadie has also suggested that we have a peculiar meetup. You know, I have been thinking that we need to do something physical and real, like we should meet up. It's expensive though. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Coney Island Book Fair is coming up in May.
That's right. Well, it wouldn't be this year. We couldn't possibly pull it off this year. But so here in Cleveland, we have the Pinch and Squeal theater name. Davey, help me.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
They're like your friends.
Yeah.
We had your
Whiz-Bang,
birthday
Whiz-Bang.
there. Oh yeah, Whiz-Bang. The
Whiz-Bang.
Whiz-Bang Theater. We have the Whiz-Bang Theater there, which is the circus theater, circus stuff. And Cleveland is a relatively cheap place to host things most of the time, because we'd have to bring people in, and it can be expensive, and it would be almost like a little mini con. And I got to thinking about if we do this.
Plenty of haunted places here too.
That's right.
Lakeview Cemetery.
Lakeview Cemetery, Franklin Castle.
Yeah.
Oh, and down the street from me, they tore up a road and found secret prohibition tunnels
that lead to the lake.
That lead to the lake. They were like pulling stuff in from Canada. Too cool. Anyway, we'd have to do some kind of Kickstarter though, because you know how it's very expensive. I've run events and it's never cheap. And so I am thinking about this for the future, like it not soon, but like, you know, I feel like it should happen.
10-year anniversary kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we're in season 7 already, so like it's getting there. But another plug for the book fair. We plugged it on here last year. Everybody who went said they had a great time. So I think that's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this year it's going to be slideshow at the sideshow, and I'm going to have like little 15-minute fun talks all day.
Nice.
Many pictures as I can get, and I'll start on that in the new year. But save the date in the New York area if you're.
You know what is the date? It's May
18th, May 17th, whatever that Sunday is.
I will be in Manchester as a scholar in residence, but I know it's fun. Yeah, but I will miss the book fair again. I was also abroad when this last one happened somehow.
I don't do that.
Yeah. So I guess this is it for the year. It always makes me kind of sad when we get down to the last of it, but I'm so glad Eilis got to be here for our final. I felt like Ghost was just the perfect thing.
I love this. I obviously love this audience, and Leanne, who always, makes a great community, and you guys, and these are my people. Like,
we're people.
You're my people. I love weird people who get it. And
yeah, that is. Oh, you know what? We need to collect that as like one of our quotes, because we do put quotes up on our thing.
Yeah.
Weird people who get it. That's what's the Peculiar Book Club? Weird people who get it.
Yeah.
But seriously,
family is
Thank you all for being here and being a big part of the show. It was a great book, says Joanna. December is good for ghost stories, which is perfect. You're in our tribe, says Leanne. And to all of you, thank you for being with us for a wonderful year. I can't wait to see you again in January, and we'll be shipping out all the cool, fun stuff that you get for members as well. And in the meantime, stay well and enjoy yourselves. Have wonderful, merry, happy holidays with much food, and come back to a place where, if you're weird, you're family.
You got the blue bottle blues when you wake up in the night. Don't make a big mistake, 'cause you can never make it right. When you reach out for the vial, feel the ridges in the glass. It's a matter of survival, baby, better watch your back. There is no antidote. There is no antidote. There is no antidote. There is no antidote. There is no antidote.